Ah. There is farm productions building that's hay and silage. Is that within the map or is that another mod? I think I have seen some silage buildings, but I wasn't aware. I knew you'd updated this, and I have updated my map, and obviously Giants did the game. Maze Plus. Glenleathann mod. Pallet storage, then I got Maze Plus, so I've also got a hayloft. Big hayloft. It's in the map under construct. Okay, let's go back to under construction. Let's stop pushing the random buttons. Under productions, in the build menu. So in this one, okay, I'm at the end. Oh, farm productions. Well, look, it does things. I guess farm productions. Farm productions converts stuff into other stuff.
I know.
Silage.
Hi.
Hello. It does not support the Maze Plus stuff, though, does it? No. No. Thank you for that. I didn't know about it, but since we're using Maze Plus, that doesn't look like it. Yeah, it's because obviously with Maze Plus it's whole crop silage, so silage from cereals is treated as the base game stuff. But we're doing maize and grass here, and obviously there's no support for that in base game. But that's kind of good to know. I found most of the other stuff. I think you've got, because you've expanded the production buildings within the map. And there is probably something. I know Disturbed Simulations tends to produce silos that convert specifically for Maze Plus. So you can unload grass into it and it'll create grass silage, or you can unload maize into it for maize silage. I haven't gone that route. I'm pretty much using the big giant industrial clamps that are currently in the farm. Oh, losing it. Alrighty, that should get us back and ready. So you're planning any other updates for this map, or is this now considered complete? I mean, we're at the last major Giants update, which came in last week. I presume there's going to be 3 more during the year DLCs, and frequently they do include a patch of some description, which sometimes messes things up. I think mostly for all the main stuff that's going on, we're pretty much... Oh, right, yes, for carrots and the things. That's good to know. I will probably... If that's going off to Giants next week, then there's going to be a lot of map updates the coming weeks. But I think I'm going to hold off chopping down any hedges on this map until that happens. Oh, where are we at? 47. Okay. Thinking we probably only have 3 more carts after this one. We'll be done with this field. Yay. And then we won't we'll have some income on hopefully September 1 and September 2, if I can get both cornfields cut and covered by the end of today. Yeah. But that'll generally be a good thing. I was actually looking up fruit and vegetable agriculture in Scotland this morning. So primarily when it comes to fruit and veg, potatoes are the big Scottish harvest, but carrots also feature quite heavily. I think they said over 200,000 tonnes of carrots a year come out of Scotland. And then you're dripping down the scale fairly quickly, but you're heading into turnips and broccoli and Brussels sprouts. Not that we have any of those in game, but I think because turnips, we can always claim, well, we can do some parsnips and some other stuff like that as well. But the big giant harvester costs an absolute fortune, so again, probably not going to do that until we have either 500,000 or one comes up on store sales. Because a one-row tractor harvester, I've done that on potatoes, and frankly, I did that on potatoes. That's not fun. Okay. Let's try and get this a little... Oh, no, no. Go forwards, go forwards. Come on. Go forwards. Thank you. Get that hill a little smoother so we're actually able to drive the tractor up and down it. That's good. I'm getting a good ramp from this side, which is going to help with the compaction later. was going to look at getting the plough loaded onto the Renault and seeing how that works out. But we're already at 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock real world time. And it's going to be cloudy later on today on the farm, so doesn't look like rain. We should be good. That's a little more like it. Yeah, so as I was saying, so if there's a map update for the premium DLC, I will hold off on serious map edits until that point. So you're not able to actually modify the map until the 15th, or have you got it modified and you're just waiting on the 15th to be able to send it in? Okay. I mean, it's nice that the fill types are available on all maps, so I'm not stuck. Yeah, that's actually a nice feature, because so many things Giants will add to a map, but there's no way you can incorporate them into the map. So with Willow Run, you got, was it Willow Run? You got all of the wood stuff, but you also had an iron mine, but there was no way to add an iron mine to your map because iron mine wasn't a constructible thing. I know the general restriction, obviously, when they add carrots and what have you, the map supports carrots, but you need the DLC to be able to do the planting and the harvesting. They tend to restrict what you can do. I was saying on Disturbed's Discord the other day, people were talking about various things being available. And for example, I think it was back in Farm Sim 17, combo bale wrappers were introduced and square bale wrappers were introduced through the Kern DLC. So you could buy that from Giants, but I know a couple of people tried to release some round bale wrappers as mods, and Giants were like, no, you can't do that. That's proprietary, equipment for Farm Sim 17 for people who have bought that DLC. In Farm Sim 19, we got the Vicon Fast Bale. Now, obviously, now we're into Farm Sim 19. You can do the the round bale wrappers and the square wrappers, and there's no restriction on that because that was released in Farm Sim 17. But I think someone tried to do a fast bale. No, you're not allowed to do that because it was introduced as part of Farm Sim 19. Now in Farm Sim 22 we have fast bales and quick bales. And quick bales, you can adjust the size of the bale so you're not limited to a 125 centimetre bale, but also it goes faster. Yeah, and I think they did well because you know, otherwise, well, I don't want to play Willow Run Forest. I'm not interested in that map. I'd like to be able to play the Old Stream Farm and have access to all of the logging, the new logging stuff on that map, not just the equipment. So they did a good job this time around with that. And so again with the premium, I'm just wondering how the premium figures for people who've already added things like carrot harvesters and carrot as a crop type. Because I know, I mean, if you've been willing to delve into various mods, you've been able to do carrot harvesting since Farm Sim 17. What am I doing? Go. Admittedly, we're using either the potato or the sugar beet harvester, but you know, the texture was all there, and the sell point, the extensions on sell points. I do get the impression that, yeah, exactly. But I do get the impression that since Farming Simulator has gone to a 3-year cycle rather than a 2-year cycle, Giants are easing up on these sort of mod restrictions. Not wholeheartedly, but they do seem to be making an allowance for DLC that was introduced during year 1. Sometimes they'll let a mod in year 3 slip through. That's, you know, that kind of seems to be, I get that impression that sort of that's where it's heading. It's not a big, you know, you can do this now, so go ahead and knock yourself out. It's just a sort of, that mod seems very close to a feature that was released in the second DLC pack of the first year. But we're in year 3 now, so yeah, I think, I'd noticed there had been some slight relaxing, but obviously, you know, they still want to make money, and so they like to, you know, get people to pay for what they're using when they release it. And the other thing I was saying last week before, I was saying that I know there are people who complain about how expensive the DLC packs are, and sometimes, well, I'm only getting 3 pieces of equipment. But when you compare the detail put into DLC equipment versus base game equipment, consider, yeah, base game equipment is literally just a port from FS19 with a couple of tweaks. And then you look at the Horse Aggravation Pack and all of the individual how the individual heads are all, you know, following the contours of the field. That's just not apparent on a base game piece of equipment. They too take a lot more care to be far more detailed. Same with that baler I've got over there is the Massey Ferguson. No, it's green. It's the Fendt baler wrapper that does 125 and 150 centimeter bales, but it has so much more detail than the baler wrappers that were released in the original game. The Valtra tractors, we only got the Valtra G on release, and then we got a Valtra pack later in the year. The Valtras in that Valtra pack are quite a bit more detailed than the base game tractors, and I think it does mean that while I'm getting this pack and it's only got like the Oxbow pack, it's like, do I really want to buy that? There's so, it doesn't seem like it's worth the money. But when you look at the features on the pack, it tends to be, this is a good pack. I'm thinking the Farmall, Case IH Farmall tractor pack that was just released, it's about $1.50. Well, why do I want to play $1.50 for a couple of tractors? But I'm guessing, and I haven't taken a close look at it, but the detail on them is far improved over, say, this Claas tractor is. And so I do appreciate that they're putting in the effort for the DLC. It's not just, hey, have some crap. Here's a baler, you've got hundreds, but here's another one. Here's a cultivator, you've got hundreds, but here's another one. If you take a close look at this cultivator while it's in action, it's very realistic in its appearance, far more so than some of the other stuff. And obviously with mods, some modders are brilliant, and I'm not going to take that away from some of the modders are absolutely brilliant. Others produce some acceptable mods. They're not the greatest, but they can fill a niche. And that can make, I need, I think the Agco 1000 tractor, I've had that loaded since Farm Sim 17. It comes out every new Farm Sim. I don't think it's a great detail tractor, but it fills a very nice hole, at least for me, with sort of a 500 horsepower rigid frame tractor, much like the Claas Axion 900s now have. But it had, when it was released in Farm Sim 17, oh my goodness, it lit up like a Christmas tree. It got lights all round. You could see the sides, the back, the front, everything. Which I appreciated, especially on an Oxygen David map when it's night time. You can't see 3 inches in front of the tractor. So, I do have that mod loaded into this game save. I haven't seen it come up in the store sales, and I haven't made an effort to buy it yet, although I'm coming to realise I do need something in the region of 400-500 horsepower, which is why we've ended up with this class. Yes, and I think that's the thing. I mean, They did release the Big Bud as a mod for Farm Sim. I mean, it was a Farm Sim 17. It came out as a mod pack, but they didn't include it in game. In Farm Sim 19, they added it as one of their first release mods for Farm Sim 19. And I think they do that just to test out the mod hub before modders get in on the act and start mass producing mods. You'll get the game released, and then within a day you get half a dozen pieces of equipment that were in the previous version of the game, but they're pushed out as individual mods, and so that gives them a chance to fine-tune the mod hub and make sure it's all working and downloading things properly and tracking who's got what and what needs to be updated. And it's a sensible thing to do, because up until that point the pre-release testers haven't had you don't have access to the mod hub because it's not like there's anything on it. But they're there to test the game mechanics are all working and nothing's broken and what have you for main release. And you're going in and saying, yeah, the mod hub's a big thing in this game and it kind of needs to work, but there's no way to test it outside of Giant's Q&A. And I'm a computer programmer. I know full well you can test something for 6 weeks, not find anything wrong with it, and then as soon as you let the main business access to it, oh, that's when you start finding all the problems that nobody found during